Alright, we're back. It's me, Chazwaz. It's you, the viewer. It's this, Elden Ring Invasions. This time I'm using a different build. It's a level 90 Bloodflame build. It's basically a dex build. I've got just enough strength, just enough strength to use this weapon, just enough faith and arcane to cast all of the blood spells. And a really neat thing, actually, is the Blessed Blue Dew Talisman, which you get in the DLC pretty early on. So it's definitely gettable on a level 90 build. It's not too tough. You just got to be able to beat Moog and get to the DLC. And what I noticed with that was that when you cast Bloodflame Blade, the amount of time it takes for it to wear off is the amount of time that it takes for the Blessed Blue Dew Talisman to give you enough FP to cast Bloodflame Blade again. So you essentially get infinite Bloodflame Blade. Now, that's not the only reason that we use it. I use a few other spells as well. You can see Blood Boon, Bloodflame Talon, Swarm of Flies, and that's pretty much it. I don't have the Ansbach one. Maybe I'll use one of my other builds to drop it for this one or something. I'm definitely not going to beat Radahn at level 90, but yeah, it's a really fun build. If you haven't done a Bloodflame build yet, all you do is you use weapons that have innate bleed, you use the Bloodflame Blade weapon art on it, sorry, not weapon art, the spell, and you get a ton of bleed buildup. And that's pretty much all there is to it. I've got blood tax on this, gives me a little bit of health back when I land it. If you land the full 4-hit combo with blood tax, which you will if you land the first hit, because it'll it does enough poise damage to kind of stun people in place, unless they have like outrageous poise, but at this level most people aren't going to. So you can get quite a bit of health back if you get that full combo in. So that's pretty much it with the build, but I'll show you all the stats, talismans, and everything like that at the end of the video. And otherwise, we'll get to that later, and we'll go through these invasions. So this invasion here, this is in the snowy area near where those madness giants are, but these guys are just around back, so they're kind of safe from that right now. Actually, I think that's where they are. They might be in the Zamar area. I don't remember. But we're fighting these guys. This guy is Mr. Stabby here. He's got the Reduvias. We've got his friend who's got the Bloodhound Step. He's got the dual greatswords and he loves those jumping attacks. And at this point in the invasion, like, things are getting a little bit dire here. My health is pretty low. I'm completely out of heals. This invasion actually went on for quite a while. I cut out the beginning part of it just because it was pretty long. But we go for the Hail Mary play. We managed to get the jump attack there, which was pretty nice. And then we managed to get the parry on this guy for the follow-up. And it's always really satisfying when you manage to kill the furled finger when there's just a little bit of time left. This invasion here, this was hilarious. So this guy, he was on this ladder for like 5 minutes. I cut this out. There was a furled finger down there, and he just left because he was like, I'm not sitting here waiting for this. And this guy, he was on the ladder for 5-6 minutes. I was standing at the top. I tried to give him space to just let him come up and fight, but he wouldn't come up. So I went down, had a little ladder fight with him, knocked him down. It was pretty funny. He even does a little damage when you land on him, which is pretty hilarious as well. It'd be really funny to actually kill somebody like that. He goes back up the ladder. So I'm thinking, okay, this guy just wants to have ladder fights, and I'm all for like silly invasions like this when people just want to goof off and stuff. Like, I'm not so bloodthirsty that I can't have fun with people. Look at that, another 2 damage when we land on him. That's pretty funny. But this guy, I don't really know what he was doing there. He didn't get back on the ladder again, so he's just kind of, I don't know, he seems like he's a little bit scared. So check this out. I used this opportunity to try, see if I can pull off a little combo here, and this works. This works as a true combo. You get the bleed there when you hit him with the spell and the full, what's called blood tax, and I didn't even have my Bloodflame Blade active, so you know, even if he had better robustness, I think with the Bloodflame Blade on, that probably would have made anyone bleed out. So that's a pretty nice combo, something to really keep in mind for later. It's a little tough to hit with that Bloodflame Talon, but it does have a decent little blast radius. Sometimes people get caught by it by surprise. So even though I don't do much damage at all with that Bloodflame Talon, it's something to keep in my back pocket for later, knowing that I've got this combo available. So this is towards the end of another really long invasion. These guys were ganking in the frozen lakes. Luckily there were only 2 of them, but they both had whips. One of them had poison whips, one of them had bleed whips, and I actually really struggle fighting whips. I think part of that is because most of my builds have really low poise because they go for like a fashion look more so than a poised up and tanky kind of build. But I've got a little bit more poise than usual on this build. I think I'm at 52. But you can see I'm still getting knocked around just by those little whips, even when they're dual wielding the whips. So it makes it a little bit tough. They can kind of catch me and just absolutely blender me here. Now, I believe the dragon was still on the frozen lake because they wouldn't follow me in after a certain point, which was nice. That would just kind of give me an opportunity to heal when I needed it. But otherwise, we just had to keep our distance, keep doing these little turn and burn things. But they kept poisoning me. They were getting some blood loss procs on me, and just doing big burst damage. So you can see they're backing up. This is why I think the dragon was back there. Honestly, I don't want to aggro the dragon in situations like this because he's as much of a threat to me as he is to them. Like, I can get hit by all of his attacks, including his breath attacks. And I've definitely been killed by dragons in Host's Worlds before, so that's not really what we're going for. But once we see that they won't follow us in a certain way, like, we know we can back up and heal if we need to. So it's just a good bit of information to have. So this guy, he's got the poison mushroom crown. He's definitely got the Kindred of Rot's exaltation, and then the other guy, he's got the Vari mask, and he's definitely got the Lord of Blood's exaltation as well. They're doing some pretty big status build up there, and then you know they're getting buffed as soon as they get those procs, which they're doing pretty easily because they're getting a lot of phantom hits as well. So these guys, although they're using whips, which aren't the highest damage weapons in the game, these guys are absolutely buffed up, and they're doing pretty big damage. I'm taking a little tick damage from the poison. Taking big chunks from the blood procs and stuff as well. So we've got to play this one smart, and it really pays to have a little bit of patience here. In a situation like this, what I want to do is just rush in, get into a fight, and hopefully something cool happens, get a clip. But I ended up being patient here, and I think something even cooler happened, which was just that I managed to kind of outlast these gankers. I probably would have died if I just rushed them, but I managed to outlast these gankers. So you can see here, like, I'm out of flasks, and they probably still have flasks, but this guy, he decides it's time to get real, and he pulls out the Rakshasa's blade, and that's actually all I needed. He did big damage to me there, and I take another hit there, so, like, look at this, my health is pretty low, I'm poisoned, so things, really aren't looking good, and then we get the Hail Mary parry. You gotta love that Hail Mary parry, and, he never should have pulled out that Rakshasa's blade. He did that to himself. You gotta stick with what's working sometimes, They definitely would have had me if he stuck with the whips. That parry was definitely the only way I was gonna win that invasion. So good for me, but hopefully he learned a lesson in patience there. So we've got another ganker invasion here. This is a 3-man team out in Limgrave, and this one was pretty tough. This went on for like 7 or 8 minutes. We did a lot of running back and forth. You'll see some cuts in the invasions. A couple times, like, they got close to the big crabs, and then they had to run really far away, so I had to chase them really far away. So a lot of running, then a little bit of fighting, then some running, and then some fighting and stuff like that. But otherwise, it wasn't too bad. They weren't using any crazy spells or anything like that. This guy did use the glint blades, but you don't really have to be worried about the glint blades. And then this guy, he gets roll caught because he's heavy rolling. I don't think that would have hit him if he wasn't heavy rolling, but you can see the blood tax at work there. It is a pretty good roll catch because of the timing on it. It's got 4 pokes, so if you're a little early with the beginning of it, the second or third hit is probably going to, hit and give you that roll catch still. So it's a pretty nice tool. It's not the easiest thing to land in all situations, but in some cases it really comes up big. And I actually managed to get quite a few kills with the blood tax. So this is actually the last invasion that I have for you, and I'm going to show you the stats in a minute here, but how sad was it that I didn't get the kill there with the fan daggers? That guy must have had like 1 or 2 health left, but he got the opportunity to go back and cast a golden vow, cast himself, I guess a little heal spell and stuff like that, but it was too little too late. We got the host with another blood tax. Okay, so here's a quick look at the stats for you. This is essentially a dexterity build. The dexterity is not really that high. It's enough to use Morgoth's Cursed Blade, but otherwise just enough faith and arcane to use all the blood spells. It's just enough that it kind of spreads us a little bit thin. We don't have a lot of mind, but that Blessed Blue Dew talisman that you can see there really comes in handy, and I'm sure you noticed throughout the invasions we were able to cast quite a few spells for the amount of mind that we had without ever drinking a blue flask, Two-handed sword talisman is also extremely good. You can get that pretty easily in the DLC. And I was two-handing my weapon most of the time, so I was able to do pretty good damage with that. And then here's a quick look at the weapons that I keep on the build. So I didn't really use these in the invasions today, but these are some fun weapons to use to kind of change things up a little bit, try for different scenarios and stuff like that. I've got the Milady on me. I'm not sure if I'll keep that on this build. It doesn't really fit that well, but anyways, that's all I have for you today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll have more videos for you soon.